Marine Reacts to SCP-5000, also known as Y, Part 2, by SCP Illustrated. As always, I'm going to be leaving a link to the original video and channel down in the description below, so go ahead and make sure that you check them out. So real quick before I go over the little recap in the first part, I don't know if this is going to end up being 3 parts just because I have been doing a lot of pausing, especially in the first one. So depending on how this one goes, I might try to finish this in one go. Probably unlikely, so this may be a 3-parter. Just because there's a lot of confusing information going on. There's a lot of reason as to just kind of what is going on right now. So just a little recap from the first part. In the beginning, I realized when I was going through it again to refresh it in my mind. In the beginning, it states that when they found the suit, right, or they first found SCP-5000, or the suit in general, that Pietro Wilson was really in it. And I feel like this is one of those, this story starts at the end, but then it goes back into showing kind of like how it all happened. And we saw that they had an MTF go to the site he was working at, and they ended up killing everybody. They even had all the correct documentation, ID, and everything. So it wasn't a different group pretending to be one. They were working actually under the SCP Foundation, and that we found out he was just a regular, normal technician working there as well. Like, he wasn't somebody who was like some big scientist like a Dr. Bright or Dr. Clef, you know. I believe the suit, they did mention they had anti-magnetic properties, like you couldn't really contemplate seeing it physically. And then eventually he ends up finding the file, and it mentioned about how the SCP Foundation finally, or it ended up declaring war on everybody and telling the whole world about them. And then it says, due to circumstances out of our control, that directive has changed, like their original intent. So what is it that is out of their control that is having them do this? Because it seems at the very least, all like the MTFs, right, they're kind of being not forced, but they're blindly just following whatever they're being told by the O5 Council. Now, I don't know if there's some other bigger threat that's going to happen if this doesn't happen, but then again, if the whole human race is destroyed, you know, then what's the point? And we saw that they ended up releasing quite a few SCPs. Just to name a few, 096, 169, being the Shy Guy, the Leviathan, 662 being the Mr. Deeds, or the little Hannibal, and then 682 for damn, he's honestly the one I think that would cause the most damage. We ended up seeing some of the ones, but the 610 one was also what kind of struck me as odd, because they said that when they released it, right, in places like New York and New Delhi, that they even killed the agents that were involved of spreading it. So obviously the SCP Foundation, or the people that are still working for them, are more than willing to honestly just take their own lives as well, knowing that the whole human race is technically supposed to die according to what the SCP Foundation said. We had that little scene with the MTF where they were lining up everybody, and when they shot one that actually felt pain, they killed them. Now, so definitely very seeming like it's something like mind control at this point, or at least from what I'm assuming. They ended up killing all human and human sympathetic anomalies, which I believe somebody mentioned in one of the comments in part 1, which I haven't gotten to yet to fully look through, was that would mean that they killed technically the SCP-999, right? Because, yeah, well, I mean, if they did, then screw them. but yeah, it just seems like everybody's blindly following orders. And we left off with London getting nuked. So, that's a quick recap from the first part. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the actual video. But before we do, don't forget to like, subscribe, it really does help me a lot. Hit that notification bar right there, so you get notified every time I do upload. Sometimes I'm uploading twice a day. Not working on them whenever I can, and releasing them at some point the next day, whenever I'm able. So that way, you at least got one video each day to watch at your leisure. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and see what SCP-5000, or Y, Part 2, has in store for us.
Files deleted. Time elapsed. Duration unknown. Journal entry 1-7.
It's been about 3 months, maybe, since my last entry. God knows what I've been doing since then. The time between then and now is a complete blank in my memory. And it looks like the files from that period have been deleted as well. As far as I know, I should be the only one able to do that, so take that as you will. I seem like I've been through a few rough patches. I have a few scars that I don't quite recognise, and I have a bandage around my temple. The exclusion harness doesn't seem to be damaged though, so I don't know what hurt me. Did I fall off a cliff or something? The sad part is I can actually see myself doing something like that. Never was the smartest. Site 19 is long gone. Well, it's still there, I assume, but I'm halfway across the country. Couldn't tell you why. It's weird though. I feel like I have a purpose now, even though I'm not 100% sure what it is, just where I need to go. There's a briefcase in my hand. I'm having trouble recalling what exactly is inside it. All I know is that it isn't round, and I need to get it to SCP-579.
Notice, files deleted.
Then again, he was found. The suit was found with him in it in 579. So this is definitely going to be probably one of those starts at the end, but then shows you how it actually ended up getting there.
Time elapsed, duration unknown. Journal entry 1-8.
I underestimated how long it would take to get to SCP-579. Site 19 was a trek all on its own, but 579 is another story entirely. I wouldn't even know where it was without this documentation, which I have no idea how I obtained, but that's beside the point. I've stopped counting the corpses I've walked past. It's probably in the quadruple digits now. Jesus. Maybe even higher. Came across the dead body of a kid, a little boy, in a house I was grabbing some supplies from a while back. At first I thought he'd just been shot in the head, but when I went to bury him I could see there were things moving underneath his skin. Little pale worms, hundreds of them, that poured out the second I touched him. They all had his face. They were all laughing. They scurried off into the drain. I don't try to bury people anymore. Keeping going is a lot more difficult than you'd think.
Crap. I don't have anything here that tells me what SCP this might be. I'm assuming it's one of the diseases. Yeah, because I don't think that would be 610's MO. So probably definitely one of the disease ones.
Notice, files deleted. Time elapsed, duration unknown. Composed file 1-3.
This thing in the briefcase is a godsend. Don't know what the hell it is, but if things are getting too much for me, I just need to open it up, and the next thing I know, I'm miles further along from where I just was, feeling all warm inside like something gave me a pep talk. It's like my own personal skip button for when things are getting rough.
Ah, shit. Well, okay. Some kind of teleportation? Maybe? Something don't... Because it said that he would end up being miles ahead. So I'm assuming it's... I don't have anything... I mean, no, it couldn't be the imperfect teleporter. No, because I think they were trying to use that to get into Ganzir. I don't know.
Managed to get temporary access to the Foundation database from the corpse of an agent I found half buried in the woods. Wolves were already helping themselves to him, but they obviously didn't mind me taking his laptop. They didn't notice me anyway. The Foundation is still throwing everything they've got at everyone else. I'll put it in a table. Might as well. SCP-2000. The Foundation intentionally triggers the eruption of Yellowstone, obliterating SCP-2000. For now, anomalies deployed by the Mana Charitable Foundation have slowed down the environmental effects at an absurd rate, but it's still just a matter of time before we choke on ash.
Okay, so SCP-2000, which is supposed to be the Deus Ex Machina, essentially our restart button, and probably the ace in the hole for the mankind at this point, just got destroyed. So that's out of the picture. Shit. I don't see... Obviously, at this rate, I feel like the SCP Foundation is actually going to succeed in what they're trying to do. But still don't know why.
SCP-2200. Somehow the Foundation seems to have mass-produced SCP-2201, and those swords are making their ways into the hands of refugees. With all the victims that SCP-2201 are cutting down, SCP-2203 is overflowing with a mountain of living 2204 trapped under a mountain of dead 2204.
And that was the one where, I mean, we saw in the confinement series as well that whenever you would die, you would get sent to a place called Solberg. And yeah, I mean, I think even in then, the amount of times that the character in that Connor was killed, that he ended up just sending a whole bunch of little dead bodies there, and to the point that, like he said, it was kind of just a mountain of dead bodies. Or actually, not dead bodies in this case, but it was just in his case because he has some kind of demon or something in him that's keeping him alive.
SCP-2241. One of the few human anomalies that weren't terminated. It appears SCP-2241 is being used as a living weapon to destroy the biggest refugee camps that crop up, forcing survivors to remain in smaller groups. Unknown how they're getting it to be that loyal, but I doubt it's pleasant. Last information on SCP-2241 says that it's being deployed to assist with the siege at Ganzia. Apparently, they're having some trouble.
So Cameron the Crusader, which was that one, damn, I mean, when I heard about this SCP and saw a video on him, it seemed like he was just a kid. I mean, they mentioned also that he kind of wanted to be like an Avenger. He wanted to be a superhero. I mean, he was just like any type of other little kid that gets angry, gets frustrated, and they're using him right now to obviously destroy the refugee camps. As far as him not knowing how they're getting him to be loyal, because I don't think, at least Cameron here in this case, from what I know about him, is that he doesn't seem the type of person to do this. I mean, his mind was always to be a superhero, but then again, they could have maybe manipulated him, thinking that something is happening to the human race, and that he sees the SCP Foundation as the good guys, still probably. But he also says, but I doubt it's pleasant, so they might be forcing him somehow. I mean, there's nothing I can really speculate as to how they would force him. I mean, if someone does know, or if that is the case, let me know down in the comments below, because from what I also do remember is that when he grows up, the older he gets, the stronger his powers were becoming, from what I do remember though.
SCP-2466. SCP-2466 was constantly being used in order to compel survivors originating from California to perform actions both socially disruptive and physically hostile. This was apparently effective, but after the 4,020th use of SCP-2466, it crashed and became unusable. Guess there weren't any residents left. SCP-2639. SCP-2639 were being dispatched to survivor communities and installations for groups that opposed the Foundation in order to kill everyone present. Apparently they were told that they were fighting monsters that had escaped from containment and were destroying the world. Clearly they figured out that wasn't the case, because they've refused to do anything since about the 6th time they were deployed. Good for them.
Journal entry 1-9.
It's nice having company, even if they don't know you're there. I'm sat around a fire with a group of GOC soldiers who are trying to make their way... Well, I don't think they actually have anywhere to go at this point. Just wandering, maybe. I thought about revealing myself, trying to ask them to help me to get to 579, but I don't want to risk it. Maybe I've just gotten used to not existing. Forget being a tourist. I'm a ghost.
Downloaded file 1-3.
Interview log from an interrogation facility inside Ganzia. As far as I'm aware, this is the first time a captured member of Foundation personnel has spoken during interrogation. Interviewer is a Commander Morrison, with a scientist called Dr. Rhodes also being there.
The guy being interrogated is a member of Mobile Task Force Omega-2, Secret Keepers, Samuel Ross. Begin log.
Do you know where you are?
I'm in Ganzia, right? You guys grabbed us while we were trying to sneak in.
That's right. Do you know why you're here?
You're going to interrogate me, I assume.
Doctor?
Confirmed. Subject has nothing implanted inside of him, no mental agents or cognitohazards either. You're safe to begin.
Okay. None of your colleagues we've spoken to have talked. Not a one, not a word. Why are you talking to me now?
We've met before. Do you remember? In that joint operation in Tenerife a few years back. With the Seagull Prince? Do you remember? I was wearing a gas mask back then, so you probably don't recognize me. But I recognized you. And it gave me a chuckle. That's why I'm talking.
That's the only reason?
Yeah.
When we caught you trying to sneak into the city with the refugees, you and your comrades started firing into the crowd at random. Men, women, and children all murdered for no reason. Don't you think that's crazy?
Fucker.
That's funny to you?
Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude, it's just... I just thought that was a little hypocritical.
What?
Well, I mean, you're interrogating me like the information you'll get will help you, but there's no time for you to really do anything, the way I see it. No matter how many times you fire Abel at her, Professor Crow's Europa will rip this place open before long. But you're still acting like you can do something about it. Don't you think that's crazy?
If you've spoken up just to talk nonsense, we can always try enhanced interrogation. I don't want to, but I'll do it.
Do what you want. Once you realize you're not supposed to feel pain, there's nothing to be afraid of anymore.
What do you mean by that?
The moment you realize, or once you realize you're not supposed to feel pain. Now, that reminds me of when they had the MTFs. That one squad lined up, right? And ended up shooting the one, or I think it was a stab or whatever it was. But one of them, when they felt pain, immediately, bam, killed them, right? So it's definitely something pain related. So obviously at this point, I don't think anything they do to him, torture him, is going to matter. Because he's probably not even going to feel it. I just want to know what the hell's going on. Honestly.
You wouldn't want me to say.
I very much do.
I'm not talking to you.
That doesn't make any sense. Tell me. Now.
You're sure?
We're still good on inoculations?
Cleared on all the Foundation kill agents. Yes.
Then spit it out, Ross. Stop stalling, or we'll have to get unpleasant.
Fine.
I didn't catch that.
You'll have to speak up. That microphone only has so much gain.
Commander Morrison and Dr. Rhodes can be heard screaming loudly. Wet cracks and sounds of rushing wind are also audible. The screaming, which grows higher pitched over time, continues for the remainder of the recording.
Look what you've done to yourselves. I told you wouldn't like it, didn't you? That's why you hear your voice. I really liked you guys, so I was trying to be nice. We're so kind to you, you know. We fight in the light, so you can die in the dark. Disgusting.
End log. Apparently, right after this, some kind of emergency arose inside Ganzia and the city ended up being destroyed from both the inside and outside. Files don't mention the specifics, but the GOC may be done.
We kill you in the light so you can die in the dark. At this point, I feel like any little moment or thing like that is obviously going to have some form of significance. Can't think of anything right now, though. I mean, that's got to be somewhat SCP related, right? I can't think of anything though, and I don't have anything here that would possibly relate to that. Because it said that he was clear of having no chips, nothing inserted in him, nothing. Cognito had to wear like absolutely nothing. But obviously something happened, and it seemed like he was talking to someone in his head, or like somebody was communicating him, or with him telepathically. Don't know who that would be though.
Notice: files deleted. Time elapsed. Duration unknown. Journal entry 110. It's getting hard to keep going. When the GOC were keeping up the fight, there was this sense that things could still be turned around. But with them on the run now, it's easy to feel there's no point to all this. With Ganzia taken care of, the Foundation has turned their full attention back to everyone else. I don't eat or drink anymore. The harness takes care of all that, and there's too much of a risk that anything I consume will be contaminated by one of the awful viruses the Foundation is trying to spread. I've seen corpses in pretty much every state imaginable by this point, some of them walking around even. Every time I open the briefcase to skip, I make a little less progress, feel a little worse. Whatever was helping me before, it's like I've grown numb to it. Wouldn't be the only thing. Why am I even going to 579? Do I actually have a reason? Composed file 1-4. Foundation's still fucking us. Here's a table about it. SCP-3078. Apparently the Church of the Broken God managed to get the internet back up and running in some areas. The Foundation fucked that pretty quick by uploading thousands of copies of 3078 through pretty much every medium available, so the internet went back down. SCP-3179. The thing was freed from containment after the Church of the Broken God started trying to rebuild things. Sparked a civil war inside the church over whether this thing is Makan or not, which really put a damper on their ability to help out. Plus, it's making as many fucking Terminator things as it can, so that's fun. SCP-3199. SCP-3199 eggs are now being airdropped pretty much wherever. I'm sure you can imagine how that's going. Might write more later.
Alright, so the two before this one, my knowledge on it was a little iffy. I believe I had to read the documents on those as well, because the 3078 was the Cognito Hazard Ship Post, I believe it's called, and the 3179 is the seed. With 3199, these are the humans refuted who are supposed to be like what they were supposed to be like a chicken, kind of, or chicken shaped, and that they had this thing where a moment that they're born or develop, I don't remember at one point specifically, but they automatically have an egg, so it'll at least continue the species. And I think what they did was they ended up freezing one because they wouldn't be able to kill it because they would always have one coming out. So I think they ended up freezing it, if I remember correctly. So now they're releasing a whole bunch of eggs.
Journal entry 111. Have been making my way towards 579. Maybe a little slower than before, but who can blame me for lack of motivation? Been seeing some strange things lately. Stranger than usual, I mean. First are the blinkers. There's been quite a few of these around lately. Now, I'm pretty sure these were created by the Foundation, even if I don't know how. I don't know most things, so just add this to the list. They're statues. Statues of soldiers, MTF uniforms, with empty sockets for eyes. Their arms are carved into blades, like what you'd see on a praying mantis or something. They're harmless as long as you look at them, but the second you look away, they can move, and they're fast. Saw one cut through an entire crowd of people when a gust of smoke blocked it from view for just a second. I'm wary of them. Me looking at them stops them too, so even if they don't perceive where I am, they're going to deduce that I'm there. Might just start slicing everything in sight, and then that's the end of me. Need to do my best to avoid them completely. The second thing I saw is, well, it's a lot weirder. It was on the horizon like a person stretched out, and That's not the best way to describe it. It was like the space around them was stretched out, and they were being stretched along with it, like some kind of bad Photoshop effect. Their body went from the ground up to the clouds, and their jaw swung at right angles. There were these gaps as well, black gaps in space around its body, like wings. It just floated forwards like that. There were Foundation guys there too, but they were fighting it, shooting it with guns and rockets. How fucked up is it that I'm thinking the Foundation fighting an anomaly is weird? Maybe they were like me, managed to get out when all this kicked off. Thought about talking to them, but decided not to. Can't risk it. Got out of there. I need to get to 579. I need to do something. Anything.
He brings up a good thing too. It's like, is there other SCP Foundation members that just kind of saw what was going on, or maybe they weren't affected by whatever seems to be infecting everyone else, and they're just kind of in hiding in a sense, or like, who was the one? They sent someone to go get Dr. Gears, I believe. I mean, I've heard his name pop up every now and then as well in some previous videos, but haven't really focused on him directly. But yeah, like, is Dr. Bright in on this? Is Dr. Clef in on this? Any other prominent figures that aren't necessarily an MTF or high-ranking members in the SCP Foundation? Like, has anybody broken away in a sense?
Journal entry 112. I saw a kid die today. I could have helped her. And I didn't. I'm a piece of shit. Composed file 14. SCP-4290. Through use of a sample of SCP-008 enhanced by SCP-914, the Foundation reanimates the corpse of SCP-4290 and lets it loose. Kaiju monsters from the Serpent's Hand engage, but the file isn't clear on what the results are. Heard the library detached from this universe, but it looks like these guys stayed behind. Idiots. SCP-4666. The Foundation uses temporal anomalies to make it so it's technically Christmas everywhere. Oh, fuck it. Nobody's ever going to read this anyway. Recorded file.
Wait, I was to say for a second, the Yule Man from who is 4666, he's one of the few SCPs that had managed to give me chills. Like real legit chills, like as the way he was being described and just the way he looked, his character and everything. And the way they described what he did to the families, it just, I believe someone said it as well. Like, I usually just see things like with the, I guess you want to call it like a straight face, right? Like, not too much, I mean, a little emotion here and there, like a little smile, you know, widening the eyes. But I was told that when I was watching The Yule Man, my eyes were like consistently like more wide-eyed. Like, it was very disturbing. It's one of the more disturbing SCPs that I've seen. So.
1-3. Begin log. View is of the interior of an abandoned jewellery store from the front door. The night sky can be seen through a broken window. A teenage girl is sitting at a makeshift fire in the middle of the store. A ruby amulet is hanging around her neck. Perception filter is disabled. The girl jumps back, alert, picking up a rusty pipe as a weapon.
Who are you?
I recognised you. The necklace, I mean. The girl groans, dropping the pipe.
Shit. They sent you to kill me? You're gonna be here a while.
No, I got away too. Did you get away too? The girl leans forward, squinting to see Pietro's face.
Jesus, you look like shit, pal. When was the last time you slept?
The suit, you don't need to sleep with it on.
You do need to sleep. Your face is just... It's seriously a disaster, man.
Alright, so the part with the suit, now it's seeming that, I mean, because he did mention as well, he had some cuts, but like, he had the suit on, so he doesn't know how that happened. So it seems like, even though it can sustain you, it seems like maybe your body itself still maybe ends up decomposing physically and mentally over a given amount of time, possibly.
You hate to see it.
Can I come in?
The girl steps back, gesturing theatrically at the store with one arm.
But of course, there's enough broken glass for everyone.
Pietro staggers in and sits down. The girl sits down opposite.
That's a fancy piece of kit you got there. Want to trade?
No way. I've read the file.
Worth a shot. Been a while since you laughed, huh?
Not been much to laugh at.
Not even when Pesterbot showed up on all the TVs?
Okay, that was kind of funny.
How does she know Pesterbot? In any case, he grew a beard, so.
So, you got away too. I mean, I'm assuming you were a Foundation guy, not one of the many people I've pissed off in my lifetime here for revenge.
Aren't those the same thing?
Then again, the SCP Foundation did come forward and let everyone know who they are. But I don't think there's any way she would have known the name. She may have seen the robot, but no way she would have known the name of Pesterbot. At least I don't think so.
Thing.
Now you're getting it.
Yeah, I'm Foundation. Was Foundation, I mean. Got lucky when this all started. Got into the suit and escaped. You?
Well, I was senior staff. We would have been told about the plan before anyone else, but damn if I can't remember what it was.
So that's how she knows. She was used to work there as well.
Probably because of the second file.
The second file? You saw it? What was it?
Well, okay, cool your jets, kid. We've got all the time in the world. They were just a bunch of images. Eggs, trees, religious stuff. Yeah, it didn't mean anything to me by themselves, but I guess they had something encoded in them. Didn't take like they should have. Probably because of this thing.
So, it was a mimetic agent?
Don't know about that. I've pretty much had everything that can happen to me, well, happen to me. I know what a mimetic agent feels like. It didn't feel like that. More like I was being released from something than something being forced on me.
Okay, I don't know what she's talking about as far as the mimetic agent part, but they mentioned the necklace again, and actually taps the necklace. It says, probably because of this thing. Is this Dr. Bright? Because it's literally the only other person I've know of that has a necklace. Therefore, that the necklace has to be put on by someone, and he could essentially be immortal and continue to transfer bodies. Which also makes me think that when he said that if he could trade, meaning if the necklace were to go on to him, obviously he would take over. Okay. I mean, it would make sense. It even kind of looks like the same necklace that is on his SCP wiki page. Damn, I've got an itch on my nose so bad.
I see. So you don't really know what's going on either?
No.
Fuck.
The girl removes a small bottle of beer from her pocket and takes a swig.
Yeah, so, you, heading somewhere, or just wandering around feeling sorry for yourself?
I'm heading to 579.
If you're, suicidal, there are easier ways to go about it. Believe me.
You know what it is?
Not a clue. Which is concerning because I'm kind of a big deal.
Doesn't matter. I have to get there.
Why?
I just do. Where are you headed?
1437. To see if I can't piss into another universe. Then throw this amulet down there and see where I wake up.
Sounds like a plan. Good luck to you.
Well, I wish you good luck too, but we both know you're not getting it, so... The day's about to break. I'm heading off.
The girl stands up and moves to the front door. She lingers at the entrance of the store for a moment.
I hope you, find what you're looking for, at least.
She leaves.
Me too.
End log. Notice: files deleted. Time elapsed. Duration unknown. Journal entry 113.
Hi, Journal. It's been a while. Right now I'm looking at Site 62C, where SCP-579 is supposed to be. There are no guards as far as I can see, and all the security is down. It looks like the place has been abandoned for a while. I was under the impression that this place was extremely high priority, but it looks like the Foundation doesn't agree with me anymore. I have the briefcase in my hands. It's difficult to breathe. I feel like everything will end soon, one way or another.
So now he's feeling difficulty to breathe. It's starting to really seem like this suit is maybe slowly killing him. Or maybe it's just like an effect on it. I'm not too sure, but that's what I'm thinking.
I'm heading in.
Journal entry 114.
Hi again, Journal. I know I ended the last entry so dramatically, and it's been about 30 seconds since then, but I have an important update. The second I got close to Site 62C, I got a feeling like someone was pressing a gun against the back of my head, like I was standing on the edge of a roof and someone's hands were on my back ready to push me. Some fight or flight shit dialed up as far as it would go. I don't know what SCP-579 is, but I know it's looking at me.
Alright, let's go ahead and talk about that for a minute. Now, I just realized also in the little chapter part where it says he's talking to that girl with the amulet or the necklace, it does say Dr. Bright there specifically. So, or like in the little chapter part, like not the actual in the video, technically. So, a lot of shit going on, man. Specifically with the interrogation scene, that was kind of a big thing too. About the feeling pain part, I mean, and that seems to be kind of starting to be a theme now, going into just why everything is happening. And now we see that he's finally gotten to 579. Feels like he's being looked at, stared at. He had a couple other run-ins with the some other SCPs. You know what? I kind of hope S62 was going to have a little bit of a bigger role. Since this is getting split into 3 parts, hoping he maybe makes an appearance later on, although I don't know if that's going to be the case. Definitely, like, I genuinely, I mean, because I thought it was going to be mimetic in nature, right? But Dr. Brett said that he doesn't believe that that's what it would be, because he said that he knows what that feels like. And now, I mean, and he's just trying to jump ship at this point, you know, going into a different universe. But I don't see what is the reasoning behind all this. And there's nothing I can speculate or like even guess at this point. Now, I'm sure they're gonna say it at the end, because I believe in the very beginning, like from part 1, it mentioned that skip to this time frame. I believe it was the 57-minute. Or no, like the 51 minute, so within the next 7 minutes of the part 3, we're gonna really see how and why all this is happening, which is gonna really clear up a lot of things for me, because at this point I don't see why is this happening. I mean, so far, really great story. It's very intriguing just because there's so much mysteriousness, and that the SCP Foundation just at one point just says, hey, screw it, we're just gonna kill everybody, kill all humans, you know. So that's pretty much all I gotta say for this video. If you made it this far, just a little quick update. I will be working on I am going to be going through the comments. I usually let the comments for each video stack up for like 3 or 4 days worth, and then I go through them. That way I'm not like doing it every day, because sometimes I can't do it every day, so I like to do them all in one type of setting. After this video, I said that really weird. After this video, as soon as I get it edited and all that, and I have it uploaded to YouTube, coming out today, I'm going to be watching if the Emperor Had to Talk to Speech Device. So I know a lot of people have been really excited for me to watch that, because I hear it's very funny, still pretty knowledgeable. I mean, or like lore-wise, I guess, but I kind of don't know what's going to be. I mean, I can only imagine how Warhammer 40k is supposed to be, or like gonna have things about it that are gonna be funny, I guess. I mean, only person I've seen so far with some of my time going through just 40k in general, any Orc or Andre from Hell's Reach, who have been really funny and the only places that I've seen some type of comedy. I mean, although it is supposed to be considered grimdark. And as far as for myself, as a personal story, I feel like it usually ends up taking a big chunk of time in the video. So here's my little suggestion. In a couple days, or in about a day or two, I'm going to be posting a community post, and then it's just going to be, I'm going to wait maybe 5 days, and then just allow people to post whatever question they want to know about me. It could be my time in the military, it could be me in my personal life, well, what have you, and then I'll dedicate a video to that in a day to be able to answer those questions and really elaborate, just so I guess you guys can like kind of know me better, just because I'm not the best person at expressing myself. I mean, I really try, like, this may not seem like it, but I'm actually like really trying to be expressive and not just like monotone like a robot, which is typically my, at least off camera, how I am initially. But once I get to know someone, and the people who do know me, I have a couple buddies who actually subscribe to me who see this, who can actually confirm as well that like once I really know you, I can be pretty goofy. I can be pretty, I don't know what's the word for it, very extroverted, I guess, amongst people that I know. That's the best way I can put it. But that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, really does help me a lot. Hit that dislike button if you didn't like it. It helps me for the channel. If you're curious to see what's coming up next, check the description down below. You're going to see a list of about 5 videos. Top to bottom is going to be how I view them. And until then, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.